Welcome to the Our Team Podcast, powered by eXp Realty. Are you an agent looking to level up? Are you someone looking to buy or sell real estate? Fantastic. This is the show for you.
All right, we are back at it. Hello, this is the Our Team Podcast, and I am Brian Auer here with my good friend and colleague.
Oh, me? Eric Johnson.
Eric Johnson. Eric Johnson, I don't know how many people know this about you, but this whole podcast thing is your baby. This is sort of like your brainchild.
Yeah, and I try and stay off of it because I don't like to hear myself talk.
Yeah, he's one of those guys where he's like, you know what, I want to do the voiceover in the beginning.
Yes.
You know, and kind of have my thing. And then occasionally I'll be on one if I have to, but I just want to be that guy behind the scene.
And I'd prefer not to be on it. And yet here I am almost week in and week out doing the podcast that I said I didn't want to do. Yeah, that one.
But we can go into Final Cut Pro and just Final Cut you out of it if you want.
I have already done that several times.
Yes, indeed. Well, today we're going to be talking about something that I hear a lot of agents talking about. And the reason why I'm hearing a lot about this right now is because there happens to be a lot of this particular age group in the marketplace buying homes right now. And that is the millennials.
Millennials, huh?
Yeah, it sounds like this is going to be a boring topic, but this is really not. There's a little bit of a spin on this, at least from my vantage point, because when the millennials were identified as millennials, and I'm not sure when that happens, but when that happened, they were picked on a lot. I mean, a lot. They were the generation that was going to live at home into their 40s. You know, they weren't going to get married, but they were going to shack up. They weren't going to buy houses. They were just going to rent and travel and whatever. They got picked on a lot. And I have friends that are millennials that fall smack dab into the middle of that generation. And I don't know them. One of my good friends, Jason Abity, is a millennial, and he's a freaking hard worker, right? So, you know, I always thought it was kind of unfair because, you know, that's not the way it should be. But I remember actually hearing some coaches, not any coaches that I necessarily, respect that much or pay attention to that much, but there's a lot of real estate coaching out there. It was not Tom Ferry or Kevin Ward or any of those guys. But I actually heard people talk about how the millennials could potentially be very bad for real estate because they're not going to buy homes. And look what happened.
They're buying because there's multiple offers. I can't get an offer out that's not a multiple offer anywhere.
Yeah, it's incredible how many millennials are out there buying. And logic would suggest that, of course, they're buying right now because they're at the age. But there's 5 reasons that they're buying right now, and it's sort of like any other reasons why any age demographic decides to buy a home. But I think it's important to at least understand why they're buying, and that way you can kind of have conversations with them on that level. The first reason is financial stability. Before, it seemed like, and I'm talking years ago, when they were first identified, they didn't really put much weight on home ownership. Even though it is something that is very important and can really lend itself to great financial stability, they have become more financial stable, and so they can afford it. I mean, you would agree with that, right?
I would. It goes back to where they came up. Mm-hmm. They came up during the housing crisis of 2008, 9, and 10.
Yeah.
So they were just looking at it as, well, if I'm going to lose everything, I might as well just rent, versus now they're looking at it as, well, maybe I need a tax write-off, or maybe I need somewhere that is stable, and renting in a high-rise isn't working for me anymore. I'd like to have a backyard, a pool.
Yeah, staying in my parents' basement isn't really cutting it.
There's that as well.
Yeah. So they have made good decisions. Many of them, they have good money, they have good income. A lot of them are in the tech space because they're very techy. Millennials are very techy, and so they're at a place where they're financially stable enough to it's even in their wheelhouse to do it. So That's the first reason. The second thing is just lifestyle changes. Many of them are starting families. They're wanting to settle down. Again, they're at that age, right? So it makes sense. And owning a home provides that sense of security. So they're craving it. They want it. It's every time I talk to a client, a prospective buyer that is a millennial, it's definitely resonates with them. They're starting a family and they want that security. So very big reason why they're doing it.
Well, and a lot of them are also coming out of the apartment living or living, somewhere else where they only have a set amount of space.
Yeah.
And they want to start branching out and getting the parks and the open spaces. So we're actually finding them coming out here.
Yeah, it's not just about the house; it's about the communities. They want to buy a home in certain communities because they want to start a family.
And they're looking for the age demographic too. We're noticing it. You're finding younger and younger neighborhoods.
Yeah.
As people move and change, but they want that community.
Yeah. Another one that I found out, which I would put at number 3, is they have become tolerant of where mortgage rates are right now. It took them about 6 months to a year, but the millennials we're working with right now, they've recognized that home prices are not going down. They're going to continue to slowly rise, right? We saw, I believe in our valley, we saw the bottom about a month and a half ago, because that's kind of where things kind of settled down. And now week over week, homes are being listed slightly higher and going into escrow at or slightly above list price. Values are slowly creeping up again. And I think once they realize, okay, values are going up, rates are high, but values are going up. And if they don't jump in at some point, they're just, they've become, they're not happy about it, but they've become very tolerant of where the market is right now with rates. And look, we have beat this phrase to death, but it is true. You're marrying the house and you're only dating that rate for just a little while. As soon as rates change, you're going to dump that rate and get a way prettier one, right? A nicer one, a cooler one, a cheaper one. So I think if you have that in mind, and they realize that, you know what, I guess you got to get in now because I can always refinance. And so that's important. Like a lot of us, you own a home, you understand. I own a home, I understand the tax benefits of owning a home. And so going back a little bit to the first one, their financial stability also means that they have pretty good income, right? They've positioned themselves. And so because of that, their home, they want home ownership for a variety of reasons, but they also need it for the tax benefits. So I put that, I don't think it's number 1, but it definitely needs to make the list that the millennials are definitely appreciating the tax benefits, and they need them. I mean,
I would say we all do.
Yes, absolutely. Especially, there's a lot of millennials buying vacation homes too. And so I've had very long conversations with many of them who are buying vacation homes and depreciating them over long periods of time, and just really getting savvy on that. So it's another reason why they're really jumping in. And the fifth and final one is just for investment opportunity. That's a little bit of 4 we touched on. They're buying investment properties. It's not, they, of course, the equity in the home that they live in, but it seemed like overnight they went from, I don't want to buy a house, I just want to stay at home with, I want to rent. We're just going to slough on the couch for as long as we can, to we're buying houses, or we're making a lot of money now, we're buying houses. Oh, and that's not enough. We want vacation homes too. We're working with buyers that are buying homes, and before we even close escrow, they're talking about investment properties. It's like, whoa, that's incredible. So financial stability that they're in, lifestyle changes, they're fine with the rates right now. They understand it, the tax benefits, and just for sheer investment opportunity, they're jumping in. And I'm excited about it because there's a lot of them out there, and it's a great age bracket to work with.
It really is, and it's an awesome opportunity for everybody involved.
Yep. I know our team's digging it. So that's pretty much all we had. I mean, it's a short little podcast today, but I thought I would throw that out there.
It was nice, so thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. We'll do this again real soon. Hey, wait, before you go, would you do us a favor? If you found any value in this content, would you please like and subscribe to it? Maybe even leave a comment? It really helps us out.